Hi, friends. Welcome to our end of the year wrap up and celebration. I'll make this pretty quick. I just wanted to have a chance to, first of all, express my deep gratitude to you all for joining me this year in the inaugural year of our MTSS Coaches Club. I know many of you were up to date and you know that we are changing the name. It's no longer the MTSS Coaches Club as of July 1, right? Officially is when the doors are opening to new members. But now we are called the MTSS Implementation Network. So I'm really excited for this kind of this new lens on it, in part because I think some people thought they weren't a coach and so they didn't belong. But really, it's for anyone implementing MTSS, anyone on a school leadership team, on an intervention team, whether you're a teacher or an administrator or a district administrator. I know some of you are district admin as well. So I just think this way we open it up a little bit more and cast a broader net for anyone implementing MTSS and at the elementary, middle, or high school. So the other thing I wanted to do is just walk through some of the resources that you have in the community because I know a couple of you shared with me just that you have been swamped. You've been so busy just trying to stay afloat, and now you're really happy in, taking a break for the summer, but you can't remember what's where and what tools are available to you that might be helpful to you as you start thinking about this fall. So I wanted to go ahead and walk you through that as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Anytime you're not sure how to log into the community, maybe you lost your link or whatever, just go to mtssolutions.com. That's where you can go ahead and find this little icon of a person. That's your profile. mtssolutions.com is your home base. I'm going to log in with my other account here. So you log in here, and this is where I have access to community. So you'll see the community, the implementation network. And MTSS Solutions, someone asked me what was that? MTSS Solutions is my umbrella business. And so the implementation network is underneath the umbrella of the MTSS Solutions. So this is the online community. And you can see that as we head in here, you go to the welcome page. I'm going to record a new welcome for everyone. Here's all the basic information. These are all PowerPoint presentations that you can use for you if you're a coach or you're a trainer for your district. So this is all available for you to use. The only thing I ask is that you don't go off and start your own consulting company using my slides. Otherwise, use it in your school to share with your colleagues. Same thing, all of these, you've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine different PowerPoint presentations that you can be pulling from, talking about tier two, building commitment, reducing resistance. So if you're training coaches, anyone, please go ahead and look at those resources. These are some external resources, resources that I did not develop, but if your school is trying to decide on which progress monitoring tools to use for academics or for school mental health, or selecting emotional wellness criteria, curricula, and programs, go look at these external sites. I have vetted many sites. I know which ones are research-based, which ones are aligned with quality research teams and organizations behind them. Most of these are non-for-profit organizations that are dedicated to that. There's a lot of great for-profit companies out there too, but please know that they're also trying to sell you something. So I really try to share resources and tools that are freely, publicly available that are researched. So always start there. And if you're not sure where to go next, email me, hello@mtssolutions.com. Really easy. Next, resources. I see this question so much on Facebook groups about having an Excel worksheet to track individual student data. Now, this one is from the National Institute for Intensive Intervention. They've got a couple here. Here's an Excel sheet that is a student progress monitoring tool. And then, generally what their idea of data-based individualization for tier three looks like. So if your school is jumping into that, I would take a look at that. But here's the Excel tool. There's a video on how to use it. And I just can't speak highly enough for this tool. If you're looking at individual student progress monitoring, you could actually share this with your interventionist so that they have one of these for each of their small groups, and then they can have tabs in there for each of their small groups and tracking their individual students. So we've got a data review meeting template for those of you that are in charge of reviewing data beginning, middle, and end of year. This is a great way to start to get your wheels turning about which steps to take. And it's basically meant to be a model of if I were running a data review meeting in your school, this is the rough outline of my PowerPoint presentation. Of course, you're going to plop in your own data, but there's discussion questions in here. There's group norms and expectations. So again, this is a resource that you can use to help reduce the amount of time you're spending planning, organizing for your teams. The two most important templates in here are this MTSS data goals effectiveness tracker and this MTSS guidebook. Okay, so here's the guidebook. I will go over this tool again for one of our first sessions of the MTSS Implementation Network. It starts with this README page, kind of a general introduction, and then the table of contents. Just be sure to click on the tabs here. And basically, this is set up so that you could download it. You can transform it into maybe a PDF, or you could create some sort of live binder for yourself. But these are all the components you need in order to really establish what is your MTSS process at your school. When you open these up, my advice is to click on File, click Make a Copy, and save a copy to your Google Drive. Okay. The other one I just wanted to show you really quickly or remind you that it's there is the data goals effectiveness tracker. So the idea of effectiveness in the context of MTSS and when we're thinking about student performance is that we want to consider what percentage of students are at grade level performance and stayed at grade level, what percentage of students were at slightly below grade level, so being served by tier 2 in any given content area, and then moved up to grade level, so that would be considered effective. And then what percentage of students were at significantly below grade level and then moved up to slightly below or grade level. And so when you look at those numbers as specifically, that's what we consider to be the effective instruction. And so really, you're trying to determine the effectiveness of your instruction and your intervention programs. And so this is a worksheet to help with that. You could even split this up by grade level or even by classroom and ask each classroom teacher to fill in the percentages of the students. I have it broken up so that literacy is at the top. You can insert the name of your skill, the subscale or the progress monitoring measure you're using there. And then they fill it out for each of the groups of students at grade level, what percentage of them stayed, what percentage of them dropped down, what percentage, slightly below grade level, what percentage of them moved up to grade level, what percentage stayed slightly below, and what percentage dropped down. So if you take a look at all those for literacy, and then I've also got it listed out for math here, and then also behavioral as well. There's also a tab here for you to look at your grade level goals, to write out the beginning of the year goals, your actual middle of the year where you ended up, and then the goals for the end of the year and the actual end of the year. We'll talk about this again this coming year, but this is something that you could do as an exercise retrospectively, look back at how things went this past school year and fill out the actual beginning of the year screening data, fill out the actual middle of the year and the actual end of the year, and notice what those changes are across the grade levels and use that for this coming year as a part of the goal setting. Finally, one of the newest templates I added was this leadership team annual plan. And this came from a direct request from one of our members that they're trying to do some planning for the fall for what would be the agenda for their school-wide MTSS implementation team. So basically, I just went through the school year and wrote out some of the agenda items that you can expect. it's clear that there's so much in there that this is not going to be just a 1 hour meeting, that in fact you're probably going to need, depending on the size of your school, you're going to need some a subgroup or work group to take some of these pieces and work on them outside of the meeting. So I put month one because everyone starts, some people start in August, some people start in September, but basically this is a very rough agenda for you throughout the school year, what your leadership implementation team should be working on. And then as you can see here, I added this possible work group assignments. And so this is what different maybe small work groups will work on and then come back to the larger group and share. So I've got the whole year spelled out there. You can again edit this. So you would go to file, make a copy, and then you can use this as your agenda and just kind of shape things to fit you, yourselves, your school a little bit better. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the Coaches Club this year and going forward and becoming a part of the MTSS Implementation Network. I'm super excited. What I've designed this year is shaped by you, requests that I received from you, and insights that I received from you. So if you have any more feedback, I'm all ears. And otherwise, I'm here to cheer you on and just so looking forward to continuing on this journey with you all. And yeah, have a great rest of your summer and hope to see you in July. July 23rd will be our next big kickoff for the new school year. All right. Cheers, everyone. Go team.